Hey guys, Ollie here from Local Knowledge, and today I want to show you guys a little bit about a brand new fishery here in Southern California, and that is the deep drop fishery. I love the mystery of not knowing what's going to come up. I love finding new spots, which is really a challenge, and just catching bigger bottom fish at depths that in California we were never allowed to fish before. So with the new regulations that started April 1st, 2023, we are now able to fish unlimited depth. And that opens up a whole bunch of new rock fishing grounds that haven't been fished in years and years. So the setup is simple. Your favorite electric reel, you're gonna want to have it spooled up with either 50 or 65 pound line. The reason we want that lighter braid is because it cuts through the water better and does not create a bunch of drag. On this particular reel, I got Seaguar thread lock, 65 pound, and it works great. Then the next thing you're gonna want to have is, let me see if I can show you this. You're gonna want a piece of heavy leader. I'm just going from the 65 pound braid. I use an FG knot, which is a pretty easy knot to tie once you get it down. The FG is going to a piece of either 100 or 130 pound fluorocarbon. Don't mess with mono here, guys. This Seaguar fluorocarbon has so much more abrasion resistance, and it's gonna keep you from losing a rig and a very expensive piece of lead these days. Okay, so at the other end of my leader, which is again 6 or 8 feet long, I put a gem light on the line. You can get these from Linden Pickren, or you can just order generic ones on Amazon. They work just fine too, and they're plenty cheap. You are gonna lose some rigs, so you might not want to invest too much into that. Then at the end, I'm putting a ball bearing swivel, and this is just a VMC. I think it's a 100 pound swivel. It's nice and slim, so again, I don't have a whole lot of drag in the water. And I like this setup. We've experimented around, and for us, this is what's really been working best. Okay. Going from here on this snap swivel, I'm gonna snap that on to a deep drop rig that I've been making at home. And this is really a Florida style deep drop rig with a bunch of swivels. Now the reason you want all these swivels in here is because you don't want to spin the fish off coming up from those depths. So this is a 3-way swivel. You can kind of see it there up close, and it allows this lead to do that. Unlike a dropper loop that doesn't spin, and it also allows the lead to spin this way. And this just gives you a bunch of flexibility to keep those fish hooked and on the line. One thing I'm doing a little different than a lot of guys are is I'm using a really big circle hook. This is a VMC 9.0 light wire. I believe it's a Sure Set circle. And these would typically be an inline circle hook, meaning that they don't have any offset. I'm actually taking my pliers and I'm bending this when I make the rig, and I'm kicking that out, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so, and it's gonna give it a little bit more snag factor to hook some fish that you might miss. We're not trying to release these fish, so hooking them, you know, a little bit, not always getting them in the corner of the mouth works just fine for us too. And then I'm putting this all together with 130 pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. I like the blue label here. It's got a little bit more chafe resistant, and I'm using these little aluminum crimps that only need 1 crimp from a hand crimper. Just makes things faster. We're not putting this under huge loads, so it's gonna be just fine and plenty strong. And then at the bottom, I'm putting on another snap swivel so that I can snap in to my weight. And this allows me to change weights on the fly. Sometimes I'm using 2 pounds, sometimes I'm using 3 pounds, sometimes I'm using 5 pounds if it's really blowing hard or we're drifting fast. So that's everything from the reel and line to your rig. You can get all the components to build these on Amazon if you want. I got a bunch of the swivels and stuff on there, super affordable, and it's actually fun to do when you're sitting at home on the couch. Now let's talk about the gear setup. So this is a personal preference thing for sure, but one thing I would recommend is having a bent butt rod to do this with. You can buy bent butts, they're fairly cheap. You know, there's a few manufacturers that make some stuff for under 200 bucks, it'll totally work. But you wanna have a little bit of tip so you can actually see the bite happening. And I don't have bent butts. I'm fortunate enough to have these adjust-a-butts from Winthrop. These are awesome. These rods came with a boat that I run for a friend of mine. Turns out they're great deep drop rods. They're great local trolling rods as well. And I can tilt them up and store them in the side of my console, which I really like. Again, the reel, electric reel of choice, your favorite company, not really a big deal here. You just need to have something that's gonna pull that line for you, because you are gonna wear out in no time reeling up 3 pounds of lead from 800 feet of water. Here's another addition to the program that I really like. I was talking about it with a friend one time, and he recommended a BIS battery. Abyss Battery, they're a lithium battery company, but they're fishermen and they also make electric reel batteries. I've had this battery here for almost a full season and it has not hiccuped. I can spend a full 8 hours, 10 hours offshore, you know, doing deep drops with a 3-pound lead, and it lasts the whole time. Plus I get to do double duty with it on my kite rig. There's another thing I like about these Abyss batteries that really makes them unique as well. These actually have a battery gauge on them. So if you press down this button, it'll show you 25, 50, 75, or 100% charge. No other battery on the market I've seen does that. And it may seem like a small thing, but a lot of times you forget to charge them, you pull it out of the boat, forget it in your bag, whatever. You're gonna know exactly where you stand charge-wise and whether you need to recharge your batteries for a day of fishing. And that's the basic setup. You know, bent butt rod or adjustable rod, your favorite electric reel. I really like the battery deal. It allows us some flexibility. We do have power ports on the boat, but the battery is totally the way to go. And then you're gonna wanna have a rod with a roller tip that just has enough give so you can really see those bites. I encourage everybody to go out and take advantage of this new fishery. There are so many benefits to getting offshore. You're fishing a new piece of water that hasn't seen a hook in years and years. The fish are typically bigger, and I'll tell you, those fish that we pull out from 500, 600, 700 feet, they eat unbelievable. That cold water, being down deep, they almost have like a crab richness to them. We've been eating them all winter long. We've really enjoyed finding new spots. Get out there, give it a try, find some spots yourself. If you like this video, please give us a like and a follow. If you want to see more content like this, check out our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of great videos designed to help get you up to speed and out catching fish faster and easier.